The 380 ACP has never received the same spotlight as the larger defensive handgun cartridges. For a long time, plenty of concealed carriers and home defense-minded shooters looked right past it and went straight to 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, or 45 ACP. But thanks to major improvements in bullet design, hollow point construction, and real-world terminal performance, the 380 ACP has started earning serious attention again. A big part of the appeal is pretty straightforward. 380 ACP is smaller than 9mm, and that gives manufacturers more room to build extremely compact carry pistols while still keeping respectable magazine capacity. That's why you'll hear some shooters call it 9mm short. In a lot of ways, that's exactly what it feels like. A smaller, softer, more compact version of the full-size 9mm defensive pistol concept. Now, anytime 380 ACP comes up in a serious defensive conversation, one criticism always shows up first: penetration. That's the point skeptics usually focus on, and to be fair, it's not something you should ignore. According to FBI testing standards, a reliable personal defense round should generally penetrate at least 12 inches in calibrated ballistic gelatin. Some 380 ACP loads have trouble reaching that benchmark. Others will penetrate well enough, but fail to expand enough to create the kind of wound channel shooters want from a defensive hollow point. Even with those limitations, 380 ACP has proven itself many times in real defensive encounters. The cartridge can work, but it demands smart ammunition selection. With 380 ACP, choosing the right load matters a lot. When you're picking 380 ACP ammunition for personal defense, there are several things you need to pay attention to before trusting it in your carry gun. Penetration matters. Expansion matters. Reliability matters. Bullet construction, weight retention, and barrel length all matter too. Defensive ammunition should never be selected just because you like the brand name on the box. It also shouldn't be chosen simply because it happens to be the cheapest thing on the shelf. There's real performance science behind a good carry load, especially when you're dealing with a lower energy cartridge like 380 ACP. Penetration is exactly what it sounds like. It's how deeply the bullet travels through a soft target after impact. That depth is affected by several factors, including bullet weight, velocity, construction, material, and even the shape of the bullet's nose. Lightweight bullets or projectiles built with softer construction can open too quickly, slow down too fast, and stop before reaching the depth you want. Ideally, a quality defensive load should land somewhere between 12 and 18 inches in 10% ballistic gelatin. That range gives the bullet a better chance of reaching vital structures and stopping a threat effectively. Next comes expansion. Expansion allows the bullet to create a larger wound cavity and increases the round's overall stopping potential. When a hollow point mushrooms the way it's supposed to, it disrupts more tissue and can create more bleeding than a bullet that simply punches a narrow hole straight through. But here's the part a lot of shooters miss. Expansion matters, but penetration matters more. A bullet that opens up beautifully and only reaches 8 inches is not doing you much good if you ever have to depend on it under real pressure. Then we get to reliability. Your carry ammunition has to feed smoothly, ignite consistently, and produce repeatable performance from shot to shot. Modern premium defensive ammo is much better than what we had years ago, but you still need to test your chosen load in your actual pistol. The box may say personal defense, but your gun gets the final vote. When it comes to bullet style, bonded jacketed hollow points are still one of the best choices for personal protection. Full metal jacket ammunition, on the other hand, is usually not ideal for defensive carry. Yes, FMJ rounds penetrate deeply. Sometimes they penetrate too deeply. The problem is that they can pass through the target and keep traveling, and every responsible gun owner understands what that means. You are accountable for every round that leaves your muzzle. Weight retention is another factor worth watching. In general, bullets that keep more of their original mass after impact tend to penetrate more effectively. If a bullet sheds its jacket or fragments too aggressively, it loses energy and often gives up penetration. That's one reason bonded projectiles remain so popular. They stay together better and keep working after impact. Finally, don't ignore barrel length. Most .380 ACP pistols are small carry guns. Pocket pistols, micro compacts, and slim defensive handguns usually have short barrels, and short barrels reduce velocity. When velocity drops, expansion can suffer. In many compact .380 ACP pistols, a 90-grain hollow point often gives you one of the better balances between bullet weight and usable speed. Now that we've covered the technical side, let's look at some of the stronger .380 ACP loads available today. These are options that offer a solid mix of defensive performance, practicality, availability, and value. First up is Hornady Critical Defense. This load has built a strong reputation as one of the most dependable .380 ACP options on the market. It uses a 90-grain FTX bullet and can reach velocities above 1,050 feet per second. The signature red flex tip insert helps keep the hollow point cavity from clogging with clothing or other material, and it also supports more consistent expansion after impact. Between its velocity, its design, and its track record, Critical Defense remains one of the easiest recommendations for compact .380 ACP carry pistols. Next is Liberty Civil Defense in 50 grain. If low recoil is one of your top priorities, this round is worth a look. Liberty uses an extremely light 50 grain projectile, but that lightweight bullet can move fast, with velocities approaching 1,500 feet per second. Muzzle energy is listed at around 250 foot-pounds, which is impressive for the cartridge. That combination makes it appealing for recoil-sensitive shooters or anyone who wants a very fast .380 ACP load. Just remember, lighter bullet weight can come with trade-offs, especially when it comes to penetration. Then we have Federal Premium Personal Defense HST in 99 grain. This is one of the heavier defensive choices available in .380 ACP, and Federal designed it to provide reliable expansion while still producing meaningful penetration. Even from a short 2.75-inch barrel, this load can still reach roughly 1,030 feet per second. Its bonded construction helps the bullet stay together after impact, which supports better weight retention and deeper penetration. It's not usually the cheapest box on the shelf, but many shooters believe the performance is worth paying for. Another long-running option is Federal Hydra-Shok in 90 grain. Hydra-Shok has been trusted by law enforcement agencies for years, and one reason is its distinctive hollow point design. The cavity uses a center post along with a serrated jacket to help control expansion and improve energy transfer. Federal also uses nickel-plated brass cases, which can improve feeding reliability and help resist corrosion. It's an older design, but it still has a proven place in the defensive ammo conversation. Next is Winchester USA White Box FMJ Flat Nose in 95 grain. Normally, hollow points are the preferred choice for self-defense. That said, some shooters still choose flat nose, full metal jacket ammunition when carrying lower energy cartridges like .380 ACP. Winchester's white box load is affordable, accurate, and its flat nose profile can create slightly more tissue disruption than a traditional round nose FMJ. Is it the perfect defensive load for every situation? No, but it can serve as a reasonable backup option and a very useful range load. Then there's Remington HTP in 88 grain. HTP stands for High Terminal Performance, and this load gives shooters a lot of value for the money. The 88 grain hollow point is designed to provide solid expansion, respectable penetration, and practical defensive performance without stepping into premium price territory. If you want dependable carry ammunition without spending top dollar money, Remington HTP deserves consideration. Next up is the SIG V-Crown Jacketed Hollow Point in 90 grain. SIG built the V-Crown line to offer a strong balance between penetration and expansion, and in many tests, this .388 ACP load reaches or exceeds the FBI's 12-inch penetration recommendation. Expansion can approach half an inch as well, which is solid performance from a cartridge this compact. Another advantage is availability. Compared to some premium defensive loads, SIG V-Crown is usually fairly easy to find and often priced reasonably. Finally, we have the Black Hills Honey Badger, and this one is definitely different. Instead of relying on a traditional expanding hollow point, the Honey Badger uses a solid copper projectile with a specially engineered fluted nose. It is not designed to mushroom. Instead, those flutes create hydraulic displacement, pushing fluid and soft tissue outward to produce a more aggressive wound cavity. Velocity usually runs around 1,150 feet per second, and recoil stays relatively light. That makes it especially appealing in ultra-compact .380 ACP pistols. Penetration usually measures around 9 inches, which is below the FBI's preferred standard. But for many civilian defensive situations, some shooters may find that acceptable, especially if they are concerned about excessive over-penetration. At the end of the day, even the best defensive ammunition cannot replace skill, practice, and good decision-making. Premium carry loads help. A reliable pistol helps. But accuracy matters more than the name printed on the ammunition box. Spend time shooting the ammunition you actually plan to carry. Learn how it feels in your pistol. Learn how it recoils. Make sure it feeds properly. Pay attention to where it impacts compared to your practice ammo. Most importantly, get your reps in. Because if the day ever comes when you have to defend yourself or protect the people you care about, you are not going to magically rise to some higher level of performance. You are going to fall back on the level of training you built before that moment arrived.